everybody, welcome to AJS News. This is the video 1 of 2 for today.
As you can tell, first things are looking a little different here. It is because Texas is experiencing a massive ice, sleet, freeze storm. I went out this morning and my driveway is completely ice.
Yeah, that is a lot of ice. Covering the roads. Oh my god. Yeah, so the boys are not going to be able to come through this. It is literally a solid block of ice.
So, yeah, the boys can't be driving over here, so we're going to use this format temporarily. I'm talking to you from my Discord command center. Alex is apparently in the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yes.
And Joe is in Cyberpunk, I guess. Yeah, so, yeah, and I want to thank our sponsors, you guys. Please consider contributing to our Discord or our Patreon or our Twitter or our YouTube or our anything. Twitch.
Subscribe here, too.
Subscribe here on YouTube and everything. It all helps. If you want to go above and beyond, you can join the Mobile Infantry, which will directly support us in times of, demonetization and all that good stuff. So click the links down below and support the show. So, in Angry Joe Show news, I've been editing the top 10 worst games of 2025. That's been a lot of fun to put together.
It's gotta be on the list.
Yeah, so maybe there's quite a few bad ones. So I'll be working on that probably tomorrow. The boys will be streaming tomorrow, and I'll be doing that. Hopefully it'll be out by tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. Definitely this week at the latest. So, and then after that, we've got movies and then maybe some new lists. So stay tuned for that, and thank you for supporting us. And yeah, Alex, what the hell has been going on in gaming news over the past week?
Well, Highguard was on radio silence for a real long time after the Game Awards. They put out that trailer at the very end, and they made a real big deal about it. And no one really liked it. And then so they went
Concord 2 is what people were saying.
Yeah, exactly. And so they have tweeted for the first time, and people were real excited. So they've said tune in on Monday, which is today, January 26th at 10 a.m. for the Highguard launch showcase. It'll be an in-depth look.
I don't understand this. They have no marketing. Apparently, it was reported, these spots cost $1 million, but then it was later on, revealed, some of the spots are less. And then at one point, it was said that they got this spot for free. And then Jeff Cayley just liked the game enough, he put it there in that particular
so it's his fault
slot.
they died.
And I think it did more harm than good. I think Jeff was trying to do something nice and probably didn't realize what was going to happen. But if he knew people needed to be wary about other games that look like Concord, he probably wouldn't have put it there. But it's a bad problem compounded and made worse by the fact that Highguard themselves decided to stay radio silent. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I get it if you can't make a demo and put a lot of side work into it because you're a smaller studio. I might even get it if you don't want to do a whole another video dedicated to the game or pay influencers or something like that to play the game. But to not even fucking tweet, it's free. It's free to tweet on your own account.
What if they forgot their password, though?
I guess they got locked out of their own password. But what makes this even more bizarre, guys, is the fact that they waited till then, where Alex said to announce that. But then if you look up the times on when they're doing their big reveal is at the same time the game is launching. The exact same time. It launches here in 1 hour and 3 minutes, and that's when they're doing the reveal in 1 hour and 3 minutes, the deep dive with influencers and things. Nobody's going to watch that shit. People are just going to play the game to see if it's worth a damn. Yeah. This is the most baffling fucking marketing campaign I have ever seen, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I want to see this disaster. We'll play this. We're going to be playing the disaster after we film the news here. And that's why we're going to, just throw up the news real quick after we get done here.
Okay. We also got word that an interactive Pokemon experience is coming to Universal Studios Japan. So that'll be
An interactive what?
Pokemon experience.
I mean, you going back
Okay.
to Japan?
Look, I went there when they opened Super
Yeah.
Mario World. It just happened to coincide. I don't know if I have the love for Pokemon in that way or want to be around that many Pokemon people.
Do you get to abuse animals by throwing balls at them and then
fight.
have them fight each other to the death or to the faint? I guess
Well,
that's what it
like
is. Is it like a
wounded.
VR AR experience, Alex?
So it says, we're thrilled to launch this new project at such a significant milestone. Our mission is to enrich both real and virtual worlds through Pokemon. With this project, we aim to create a theme park entertainment that surprises and delights fans around the globe. So,
Okay.
I don't know.
A theme
For
park.
some reason, the line for Vaporeon is really long.
A virtual theme park or a real theme park?
You
No,
know
real-
why?
Yeah.
You know
it's
exactly why,
a
Alex.
real life theme park at Universal Studios.
I guess they'll probably have people dressed up in mascot outfits because I think
You're gonna have Pikachu there, of course.
PETA would be quite upset if you tried to dress up dogs and put
No.
like costumes
No,
on them
no.
and shit. Nah, and put bunnies and things. No,
Spray paint
you.
a squirrel. Yeah, I don't think
yeah.
you get to do any of that stuff.
So they'll probably
it's a
be
permanent
mascots.
outdoor attraction. There's going to be a Pokemon Forest, Trainer Market, Gym, and Battle Court.
This is funny. Look at Joe. Joe's right below me, huh? I can do this, Joe. Put it. Wait. It's a Brady
wouldn't
Bunch. We got the
mind
Brady Bunch
checking
here.
it out. That would be pretty sweet. I
Mm-hmm.
did like the Nintendo one. I do like the old school Pokemon
The old school
one.
ones for sure.
And unfortunately, Legos is releasing a new Pokemon set, which is fucking $600.
Lego Pokemon?
Yeah, you get
Shit, I didn't even know that was a thing. Wow.
I can't wait for
it's gonna
Lego
come out
to
this
pair
year.
with Games Workshop to make the
No.
most expensive plastic on Earth.
Yeah.
It's just,
No,
Wow.
yeah,
you have to take out a loan for that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we got big news this week. Ubisoft is in full meltdown. They have canceled a bunch of
Huge.
games. They canceled Prince of Persia, and what it did is it made their stocks have plummeted to the lowest price in over 14 years. It's
Come with the good
real
news.
bad. It's real bad.
Yeah. Organizational restructuring. It's been in the works for a year. But they're going to do it to reclaim leadership and drive a sharp rebound. If it ever
Sharp
rebounds.
rebound.
6 games. This is huge. I just read through all those games that in the
You
last
lied to
news
people.
episode.
You lied to people.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck? That's a weird take on it. I'm just reading what Ubisoft said
I
that they
know,
did.
it
So
was
it's
a
Ubisoft
joke.
lied to people.
Exactly.
6
but-
games have been canceled, 7 delayed, and 2 studios closed. That is, the building is on fire, and this is fine. Levels of crazy. So 6 canceled games. That's including the Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake, which I saw some stuff on it that said this thing was in the polishing phase and near done. Then I saw some other rumors. No, it was being handled by India, and they were terrible, and they didn't know what they were doing, and it was really bad. So I don't know who to believe on that.
Yeah. I was worried because one of the most anticipated games of this millennium is still being made. And so they said a couple unannounced games got canceled, and I was like, oh no, Beyond Good and Evil 2 could have got canceled.
That was my main
But-
concern.
But-
Go ahead, Joe.
My main concern. But Ubisoft has confirmed that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still coming. Yeah. It remains a
Unbelievable.
priority, but they have lied
Oh,
to
a
us in the past.
priority, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Wow. I
so-
don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't believe what they say, but they said it's still coming. We've been waiting, 18 years or something? So
It's been a long time. When I first heard that Ubisoft was doing that, Tom Henderson was tweeting out stuff. He's got a website, and he's got a lot of insiders that know stuff. Insider Gaming, if you want to check that out. But I asked him, hey, have you heard anything on Beyond Good and Evil 2? Because he says, he was reporting on it, and he dug and did a whole thing on it. And I think that's actually how we got the confirmation that Beyond Good and Evil 2, because I was over here poking some industry insiders to look into it. Yeah, so that's wild. I guess they think that they've probably spent hundreds of millions of dollars in its development.
That's what, like,
and they cannot let it go.
Of a Star Citizen? That's not that bad.
Yeah. Which games did Ubisoft
This game's gonna be amazing
cancel?
when it comes out. You watch.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. And the best thing about all of this stuff is they have not asked me to pay $1,000 for a spaceship.
Alex,
That's like the best thing.
Very true.
Yeah, at least they're not doing that. Do you know which specific games were canceled?
No, there's been some unannounced ones. There was rumors this morning that Watch Dogs is completely dead, so that maybe that was in like the planning phase. But honestly, based on the last Watch Dogs, I don't think a whole lot was, no love lost there.
But we had a great time with Watch Dogs, Alex. What are you talking about?
Oh, with the grannies? Yeah.
Grannies were the best.
We were doing everything we could to squeeze 1 ounce of fun out of that horrible cut and paste copied game. So
it was fucking terrible. You just basically go outside the building, hack it, move on to the next building, do the same thing.
Okay, doing a little more research here. First off, Ubisoft India, which is Pune. How do you Pune? Mumbai, and PUNE Studios. Was originally leading development of the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. That was announced back in 2020, but due to poor reception of the initial trailers and development challenges, the project was then transferred to Ubisoft Montreal. So that's why I guess the rumors are somewhat half true, that they were doing a bad job, and Ubisoft was like, all right, we need to figure this out. But ultimately, when it was canceled probably under Ubisoft Montreal, who couldn't do anything with it, which... reporting that it was an unfixable mess. Oh, I guess you could still blame the original, maybe Pune or Mumbai studios for that, because if it's unfixable mess, I don't know. But it's weird that this game, that came out so long ago, they can't figure out how to recreate it in 2025. Like, what talentless people do you have that can't even remake a game that's 20 years old, right? And then digging deeper on what games were canceled, they were unannounced, but we can get a little bit of an idea. So you got Prince of Persia, there's number 1. We need 5 more. 3 of them are unannounced new IPs, 3 original unannounced intellectual properties, which suck, because there could have been something amazing in any one of these 3 that we were like,
amazing.
Yeah. Amazing.
Interesting. How about that?
Interesting. And then 1 unspecified mobile title was scrapped. Yeah. So we got 1 good thing. So that's 4. And
Skull and Bones Mobile.
Yeah, I don't know. But then that's missing a 6th there. I'll have to do some digging there. Which studios actually closed of the 2? Stockholm and Halifax have been closed. So I would assume that Stockholm was working on a project unannounced, and Halifax was working on a project unannounced.
Yeah, one thing I read this morning, I mean, it's a rumor, but someone was saying that Watch Dogs is now like officially dead, and they were in the planning phase for some, but it's not confirmed by them, so maybe it's Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs was what? Canceled, you think, maybe?
Yeah, like it was in the early planning phase.
Knowing how fucking lazy and how Ubisoft leans on all of its properties, I would feel like that's one that maybe survived, even though it probably shouldn't have. Okay. Well,
Ubisoft loves using these international studios. They make deals with the government. So that's why, well, it's one of the many, many reasons that Skull and Bones was so bad, is they made a deal with Singapore, and they're like, we're going to make the game there, you're going to give us all these tax credits, and then the people there couldn't actually make the game, and so they wanted to bring it back to one of the other studios, and then the government's like, we will sue you. You made a deal with us. Like, you have to keep all the development here.
Here's a little bit, the full press release. 4 canceled Prince of Persia, 4 unannounced titles, including 3 new IPs and a mobile title. So one of them was not a new IP. I guess that means that we'll never see the Splinter Cell remake, because that could have been the one people have been waiting for, rumored. That one probably could have got canceled, and that would have been that 4th, or in this case, the 6th that we didn't know what it was. But yeah, I hope somebody in the future details what these games were, because it's always fascinating to me. It's like lost to history. And I will go back when I was going to E3 and you were going to events and you'd hear people talking and you'd overhear people. You would hear about the games that never came out. Like, I think Avalanche Studios, they had Mr. Jekyll and Hyde game coming that was canceled. That sounded really interesting to me. So there's, I always wonder what could have been and what could have happened. And, that just sucks.
NDAs will end soon, and then I'm sure maybe if there's some interesting stuff, hopefully people will post.
Yeah.
All right. I want to wrap things up with something I've been saying for a while, but Hasbro CEO is now being sued by shareholders. These are the only people that Hasbro cares about is its shareholders. They don't care about it's the people who buy any of their stuff, so this is important. The shareholders are suing the Hasbro CEO. Complaints include overprinting Magic sets and destroying the long-term value of the brand. Now, I've been saying for a long time that Hasbro's kind of on fire. All of their companies under Hasbro are losing money, with a few exceptions. And so the ones that they are those exceptions, they're squeezing every penny they possibly can to make up for the inadequacies. The problem with that is, one, it covers up the losses of these other companies, and then shareholders don't like any of that stuff. And 2, the long-term viability of some of these brands, like Magic, are damaged, because you have people like me who played it for 30 years who I'm not interested in anymore. And so one of the key concerns is that Hasbro has been overprinting new Magic cards as a part of a parachute strategy to cover revenue pitfalls elsewhere at the company, thereby diminishing the value of existing sets and harming its most profitable brand. So there's smoke over there, and there's been smoke over there for a long time, and things I've said are on fire. I mean, you can't see, but I got Magic cards on the wall. I love Magic, but I won't play it and I won't support it. And I think even the shareholders are getting tired of some of the stuff that they're doing, where they're just printing as many things as they possibly can, not to strengthen the game. They want to get involved in the secondary market, which damages stores. I don't know if you know, like local game stores is where Magic lives and dies, and they're hurting those stores. So now they're getting sued over. I don't think this is going to go anywhere, but I think if a company's going to listen to anyone, it's going to be the shareholders.
Yep. Wow, that company's a mess, and it's sad to see. I feel sorry for you, Alex, because that would be like one of my favorite companies just doing really poorly. And I don't know, like Games Workshop. Yeah, Games Workshop it has their own problems. They sell things way too expensive, but they are currently making record profits. They're about to have a huge resurgence here in 2026 when they release Warhammer 40K 11th edition, because they reset the game every 3 years. So they're about to have a really good year. And then once that Amazon show comes and then the live action show, and then I'm sure they're working more on Secret Level. I think that was confirmed that they're doing more Secret Level episodes.
Those are great. Yeah,
those are great. So it sucks that your company over there, who controls Magic, doesn't seem to care about the customers, and now they don't seem to care about the shareholders. Except the shareholders, are they going to sue them because they're like, fuck you guys. So yeah, things are not going well over there.
No, definitely not. And then there's also there's that promise. Magic made a promise 20-something years ago where they said, we're not going to reprint these specific cards. It's like Black Lotus and the Dual Lands and all those things. And the more Hasbro is on fire, they've made a promise, but like Hasbro could just reprint some of those cards in a special set. They've already done $1,000 Magic packs So the more they get backed into the corner, the more things aren't going well for them. I'm curious to see like how much they're going to destroy it.
What?
So,
damn. $1,000 magic packs? How does that fucking work? They're pieces of paper.
It's a lottery ticket, Joe, and you could get something amazing, or it could be nothing.
Chances are nothing.
I hate that. That was like the blind pulls and stuff from HeroClix. At least when I'm buying something from Games Workshop, I know specifically what model I'm getting. I don't like spend $70 for one cheap piece of plastic and it shows up, oh, fucking boomer. Nobody likes you, fucking boomer. And then you throw the fucking.
Yeah, but you can buy a whole army from Games Workshop.
Isn't that Turbo Man, Joe?
Really well,
did you get my Turbo Man reference? Nobody likes you, Boomer. I think it was Boomer, his sidekick. Booster! Oh my God, Joe. You got it. Yeah. But well, going back to the Ubisoft story real quick. I was reading they got a fucking $1.25 billion investment from fucking Tencent in China. So you got that Chinese conglomerate money. That was in March 2025.
Yeah.
So you'd think that they wouldn't have to do this, which is
Tencent
canceling
only
all the
in certain brands because they split the company into two, and all of the good brands got put into that pile, and Tencent's like, we only want those ones, and all the shit got left over there.
Oh, so those teams. So Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Rainbow Six franchises, they're going to move forward, and then but all of it will still report to Ubisoft proper, and then the rest of the shit, I guess, was the other one. So you're thinking this affects the rest of the shit.
Yeah, it's they invented in something called Vantage Studios, and then it's Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. Yeah, there's the three that Tencent wants to be part of, and they don't want to be part of any of that other shit.
Even they know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you're buying something, you're like, hey, I don't want any of that other crap over there. It loses a ton of money, so I will invest in the good stuff, and then the rest of the stuff you can do what you want. And then what Ubisoft is saying is they don't value that stuff either. So
and don't forget this. And so around this time when we were talking about that time, there was a game called The Division Heartland, which was a free-to-play division, mobile division, but that got canceled. So I'm glad that was.
Oh man, free-to-play division game. Like I know we've been joking about paying for bullets, like with real money, but if there any game is like that Ubisoft has.
Planned for PC and consoles with full crossplay, canceled the division in May 2024 to focus on other projects. Okay, so it wasn't mobile, but it was basically a live service just surrounding the division. But I'm glad that's dead and gone. Okay, yeah. So far, they fucking make mid games, maybe some decent ones here from time to time, and then put out and then fucking cancel the good ideas. So hopefully, Ubisoft can turn things around because I want them to. I want them to get better and do better.
They have to.
Like, I don't want them to go away.
You're already at the fucking bottom. You got to go up, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Beyond Good and Evil 2, Joe. We know it's coming. I am
going to be sad.
We actually got in there.
They'd be like, nope, it's canceled. Like,
no. It would have been canceled right here.
Yeah,
if it was ever going to get canceled. So this is confirmation that they are definitely releasing this thing.
Some cost fallacy works out in our favor for the first time.
Isn't it hilarious that the biggest and best news we've got about Beyond Good and Evil 2 had to come when 6 other titles get canceled and 2 studios get closed down, but they're like, we're not canceling Beyond Good and Evil 2. We still have our prediction document.
He wants this game, so we need to put
I want it just as much, Joe. We played it. It's probably not going to be that version that we played. But we have the predictions here. Beyond Good and Evil 2 will come out before Squadron 42, says OJ and Alex. I think Squadron 42 is coming out before Beyond Good and Evil 2. So we'll see where this trophy goes.
Yeah. Well, we got one last Ubisoft thing to talk about. They've identified why their games have been trash. And they want you to know that the reason that their games have been trash is because they've been allowing remote work. So they're demanding full office return for everyone to
Fuck
boost
off.
collective performance for AAA games.
That's their excuse they're gonna go with?
That's a bullshit excuse.
So they didn't say that directly, but they're like, look, they want to boost the performance for AAA games. And it's like, look, your games have been trash. It wasn't how people worked on them. It's how that they were designed from like the top down. So
I'll grant you that it probably takes much longer to develop a game remote work than it does probably people in an office. But, blaming that for everything is just a lazy fucking corporate excuse. I don't buy it for a second.
Yeah. Happy employees. I mean, if you have good management, you can make sure that people are doing their job. Happy employees are going to be more productive than people who are worried about like daycare and all of these other things. So, it's always the failure of management when you can't figure out remote work. Unless you're, something that demands you be in person, but, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, that's what I got for this one. Did you find anything else?
Nope, that's it. That's it for the.
Right.
I got a news story for the next one though. So, okay, it was concerning the DCU and the big freak out that everybody had online, and then potentially Lobo. So come join us in the next episode, episode 2. And thank you guys so much for supporting the Angry Joe Show after all these years. Consider subscribing to our Patreon. It keeps us going. Make sure you're already subscribed to YouTube here. It's completely free. And if you want to do that and do more, then click these links down below. And we'll see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.